Selena and Michael have been engaged for a while now, and like many couples preparing for marriage, they are learning that planning a wedding is not just about the venue, the cake, or the flowers. It's about being on the same page emotionally, mentally, and financially. The latest conversation between Selena and Michael really highlights something that many couples struggle with: communication. Selena went to a wedding venue recently, and the experience brought up a lot of feelings for her. She was excited about the place, noting how beautiful it was with all the plants and decorations. It was amazing to her, but even in that happy moment, there was an underlying tension. Before they moved forward with wedding plans, Selena needed to make sure that she and Michael were really on the same track. She wanted to ensure that they could talk openly about their decisions, especially when it came to big purchases and important life choices. Selena started the conversation by expressing her concerns about Michael buying a truck without discussing it with her first. She reminded him that in past relationships, lack of communication had been a serious issue, and she was determined not to repeat the same mistakes. She emphasized that she was his fiancée, not just a girlfriend, and that meant their partnership needed to be stronger, especially now that they were about to make a lifelong commitment. Her tone was calm but firm, letting Michael know that she expected transparency and honesty. She pointed out that sometimes she felt like she was talking to a brick wall, trying to communicate while Michael stayed quiet or waited until things were certain before telling her. That approach hurt her because in a marriage, both partners need to be open and share their thoughts, plans, and decisions in real time. Michael, on his part, tried to explain his side. He admitted that he intended to tell Selena about the truck eventually, but he wanted to make sure everything worked out first. While his intentions might have seemed reasonable to him, Selena felt differently. She needed to know about things as they happened because sudden surprises, especially major purchases, could affect their plans. She reminded Michael that this truck wasn't even the first instance, there was also a boat he bought without her knowing. She explained that for them to save money and plan their future properly, these decisions could not be made in isolation. Every major purchase had an impact on their shared financial and life goals, especially with a wedding coming up. Selena then shifted the conversation to the wedding itself. She brought up the costs involved and how careful they needed to be about spending. She started breaking down the numbers, mentioning that the venue alone was going to cost around $8,000. Then there was her dress, the decorations, the photographer, the videographer, flowers, transportation, and the cake. She listed these things calmly but with emphasis, showing Michael the reality of what planning a wedding entailed. She wanted him to understand that the wedding was not just about spending money, it was about teamwork, planning, and sharing responsibility. For her, being able to communicate about these expenses was essential. When Michael made decisions without her input, it hurt her feelings because she valued being included in everything that affected their life together. Selena also made it clear that she wasn't trying to nag Michael or control him. Her goal was simply to have a healthy relationship where both partners felt informed and included. She wanted them to communicate in a way that made sense for both of them. She stressed that if they couldn't talk to each other, they didn't really have anything solid to build their future on. The way she phrased it was powerful: communication is the foundation of a strong relationship. If one partner is not willing to be open, honest, and consistent, then all the other aspects of life together, love, trust, marriage, become shaky. This conversation was a wake-up call, showing that even engaged couples need to continuously work on how they communicate with each other. Michael's response was cautious but not dismissive. He reassured Selena that it wasn't a problem, and he agreed to try and communicate better going forward. Even though he had his reasons for acting the way he did, Selena needed more than words, she needed consistent action. She wanted to see him involve her in the decisions that mattered, big or small. Whether it was about buying a truck, a boat, or planning wedding expenses, transparency was key. She emphasized that their partnership should be about teamwork, where both voices are heard and respected equally. This conversation highlighted a universal issue in relationships: communication isn't always natural, and sometimes it requires conscious effort and practice. One thing that stood out in Selena's approach was her calm but assertive tone. She didn't yell, she didn't accuse, and she didn't make Michael feel attacked. Instead, she laid out the facts, expressed her feelings, and clearly stated what she needed from him. This is a crucial skill in relationships. Many couples struggle because they approach sensitive topics with anger or defensiveness, which often escalates the conflict rather than resolving it. Selena, on the other hand, focused on clarity and honesty. She explained why she felt hurt, why it was important to her to be involved in major decisions, and how this affected their future plans. By doing this, she created an opportunity for Michael to listen, understand, and adjust his behavior without feeling attacked. Another important aspect of this conversation was Selena's recognition of her own needs and boundaries. She made it clear that she would not compromise on communication, because it was a non-negotiable for her. Many people enter marriage with unspoken expectations, and problems arise when those expectations aren't met. Selena's approach was proactive. She addressed the issue before it could grow into resentment. She recognized that their relationship was about partnership, and part of that partnership meant respecting each other's feelings and including each other in life-changing decisions. This kind of honesty is crucial in building a strong foundation for marriage. Selena also touched on the emotional side of wedding planning. Weddings are not just financial or logistical events, they are emotional milestones. For her, the wedding symbolized more than a celebration, it represented the commitment they were making to each other. That's why she wanted to ensure they were communicating effectively before saying, "I do." She wanted to make sure that there were no hidden frustrations, misunderstandings, or unspoken grievances. She knew that entering marriage with unresolved communication issues could create long-term problems. By addressing these issues now, they had the chance to strengthen their relationship before the big day. The conversation also highlighted how money and spending habits can affect a relationship. Michael's decision to buy a truck or a boat without consulting Selena showed a lack of alignment in their financial approach. Money is often cited as one of the leading causes of conflict in relationships, and Selena wisely connected this to their need for better communication. She explained that when one partner makes large financial decisions alone, it can create tension, mistrust, and emotional distance. Her approach was not about controlling money, it was about ensuring they were making decisions together, as a team. This is an important lesson for any couple preparing for marriage. Financial transparency and joint decision-making are essential for a healthy partnership. Selena's conversation also revealed a deeper desire for emotional intimacy. She wanted Michael to share not just decisions, but thoughts, feelings, and plans. When she said she sometimes felt like she was talking to a brick wall, it showed that she needed more than surface-level conversation. She wanted meaningful dialogue where both partners are actively listening and contributing. This goes beyond wedding planning, it's about the overall health of the relationship. Emotional intimacy is built through consistent, open, and honest communication. Without it, even love and commitment can feel hollow. Selena's insistence on communication was her way of protecting their emotional connection. Michael's responses, while attempting to reassure Selena, also pointed to a common issue in relationships: different communication styles. He preferred to wait until things were certain before sharing, thinking it would prevent conflict or unnecessary stress. However, Selena preferred transparency from the start, even if things weren't fully settled. This difference in style can create friction if not addressed. The key is compromise and understanding. Couples must learn to meet each other halfway, recognizing that each partner's approach is valid while finding a solution that respects both perspectives. Selena's directness helped bring this difference to light and gave them an opportunity to work on it together. Selena's point about not repeating past mistakes was also significant. She reflected on previous relationships where lack of communication had caused problems, and she made it clear that she was determined not to let history repeat itself. Learning from past experiences is vital in relationships. It allows individuals to recognize unhealthy patterns and actively work to avoid them. By stating her expectations clearly, Selena was taking control of her emotional well-being and protecting the relationship from avoidable stress. This level of self-awareness is crucial for anyone entering marriage because it ensures that both partners start with a clean slate and clear intentions. Another notable part of the conversation was Selena's emphasis on fairness and partnership. She wasn't trying to control Michael or make all the decisions herself. Instead, she wanted to be included and informed so that they could make choices together. She recognized that marriage is a partnership where both voices matter equally. Her insistence on communication was about creating balance and mutual respect. It was also about trust. When both partners communicate openly, trust is reinforced and both individuals feel valued. This is a critical lesson for couples everywhere. Marriage works best when decisions are shared, and communication is honest and consistent. Selena's approach also modeled healthy conflict resolution. She addressed the issue without anger or drama, focusing on facts and feelings rather than blame. She explained how Michael's actions affected her, why it hurt her, and what she needed moving forward. By doing this, she provided a clear path for resolution rather than creating more tension. This is important because many couples struggle with conflict due to poor communication techniques. Selena demonstrated that expressing concerns calmly, directly, and respectfully can lead to understanding and compromise instead of arguments and resentment. The wedding planning itself became a symbol in this conversation. It wasn't just about flowers, cakes, or dresses, it was about shared responsibility and partnership. Selena wanted to ensure that Michael understood the emotional and financial weight of the decisions they were making. By discussing these things openly, she was preparing both of them for the realities of marriage. She wanted to make sure they were not just celebrating love, but also building a strong, practical foundation for their life together. This conversation was a reminder that weddings are not just about the big day, they are a training ground for partnership, communication, and teamwork in marriage. Selena's insistence on communication also highlighted the emotional labor that often goes unnoticed in relationships. She was investing time, energy, and thought into making sure their relationship was healthy. By voicing her feelings and expectations, she was contributing to the emotional stability of their partnership. Michael, in turn, needed to recognize this effort and respond with the same level of attention and care. Emotional labor is an essential component of any relationship, and it requires both partners to acknowledge and participate in it. Selena's approach showed that she valued this labor and expected Michael to do the same. Finally, this conversation serves as a reminder to all couples that communication is never one-sided. It requires both partners to be active participants. Selena made her needs clear, but it was also up to Michael to listen, understand, and adjust. True communication involves speaking, listening, empathizing, and acting in ways that reflect understanding. Without it, relationships can falter even when love and commitment are present. Selena and Michael's discussion underscores that communication is not optional in marriage, it is essential. By addressing their differences now, they have the opportunity to grow stronger as a couple, build trust, and create a partnership that can withstand the challenges of both wedding planning and life together. In the end, Selena and Michael's conversation is a lesson in honesty, openness, and partnership. Selena's courage to speak up, express her feelings, and set boundaries shows the importance of clear communication in relationships. Michael's willingness to listen and reassure her is a step toward understanding each other better. Their discussion is more than just about a truck, a boat, or wedding costs, it's about building a foundation of trust, respect, and emotional connection. It reminds us all that before saying, "I do," couples must ensure that they can communicate effectively, share responsibilities, and approach life's challenges as a team. Marriage is beautiful, but it requires effort, patience, and most importantly, open and honest communication.